me if I'm wrong on this, that you play some role in your section. Your section has entrusted you with some sort of leadership position, and it could be a small leadership position, or it could be the whole shebang. Don't really care. They want you to do something to make their section better, and somehow you screwed up and didn't say no. So thus you're here today, in my conference session. Okay. You want your section to be active and healthy. Okay, what does that actually mean? Active and healthy sounds great, and I think we'd all want to have it, but what does it actually mean? Well, really it means two things. Number one, more people are joining your section. So we're going to use that as sort of a heartbeat symbol, right? Is your section growing? Should be. People are being born every day. People are being born every day, that means there should be new engineers showing up every day too, right? 18 years later on or something like that. If there's new engineers, they should be joining your section, right? Also, more people should be attending your event. Number one, you should be putting on events. Yay, that's good. And number two, when you put on an event, you should have a full room. You should be picking up the phone and going, I'm sorry, we're sold out. Maybe next time you can come, okay? But just get in earlier, okay? That would be fantastic. Wouldn't that be great to do that? All right, something to shoot for. A section is very much like a business. If it's not growing, then it's declining, and that's not good business for anybody. How can you tell if you're achieving these two goals of more people joining your section and more people attending your events? There's 4 different ways. Number one, ask the people in your section how it's going. We can talk about all the great metrics in the world, but they suck in comparison to the number one thing that you can do, which is talk to people. Talk to the people who are members of your section and say, hey, what do you think of the section? Are you proud of it? Do you enjoy it? Are you going to renew? Is this something good? Is this what you were looking for? What does it cost to join the IEEE per year? Is it like $145-ish? If you're really, really old, real old, it's free. But for those of us who are not that old, it's like, I forget what it is. I think it actually comes out to be like 25 cents a day. I did the math once a while back. I think it's 25 cents a day is what it costs to join the IEEE. Okay? The question is, are you getting your 25 cents a day value out of your IEEE membership? It's a good thing to ask. Number two, compare your section to 2 or 3 other sections. Find some other sections that are roughly the same size. Do not compare yourself to Atlanta. They're huge. They're gigantic. You're not that big. Okay? Find somebody who's roughly your same size and then compare your metrics to theirs. Are they having as many meetings as you are? Do they have as many members? Are they growing? Are they shrinking? You know, it's hard to tell how you're doing in a vacuum. Okay? And the final one is ask IEEE headquarters how they think you're doing. They do nothing but sit around and stare at numbers that tell them how your section's doing. You may as well have a chat with them and find out how it's going. And once you get answers to all of these questions, you need to take action based on what you've learned. Great. What does that mean? Well, that's where the IEEE Vitality Dashboard comes into. Sort of a suck name, but what the heck, this is what they came up with. It's engineers naming stuff. We know how that one goes, right? So what is it? It's a collection of facts and stats about your section. It is information that's been pulled out of the master IEEE database, which, just in case you didn't know, is called SAMI, for kicks and grins and historical reasons. And it is a tool designed to provide you with a real-time snapshot of how headquarters thinks your section is doing. Headquarters is not talking with the people in your section saying how it's going. They're simply taking a look at numbers. So this is their understanding of how things are turning out for you. It is not something that's going to tell you what any of these values really mean or what actions you should take based on them. That's why I am here today. Okay, so how do you find your Section Vitality Dashboard? Surprise! You go to Google. You type in IEEE Section Vitality Dashboard. Bam! Oh, look. I got to my Vitality Dashboard. Alright, this is what it looks like. It's a typical IEEE web page. This sort of sucks, actually. But the red arrow tells you it says Section Vitality Dashboard. If you could actually read it, you can't. You click on that and you go to this section of the page. No reason to actually take you to the Section Vitality Dashboard when you click on Section Vitality Dashboard. Just take you to another part of the page. That's okay. Once again, they tell you Section Vitality Dashboard. Click on that! And you go to Oracle. Oh, damn. How hard is this thing to get to access to? Who has Oracle sign-on account? So, since you're a responsible management component of the IEEE organization. You are permitted to gain access to the SAMI database, which is stored inside of an Oracle database. So you are permitted to log in. You just need to make sure you've got the credentials to get in. So if you don't know, or if you never have logged in, just go ahead and get the credentials. IEEE website will tell you how to do it. Then when you get here, you can enter your user ID, not my name, password, and click on sign in. Bam! You get to a really boring looking page like this, which is the start of the IEEE Vitality Dashboard. Now, this is great, this is fine, but if you're an old person like me, you cannot possibly read this, so what we do is we blow it up. Turns out the IEEE Section Vitality Dashboard actually is the answers to 9 questions. Okay? And we will go stepping through these. Just real quickly, the questions are this. Tell me about your members, tell me about your active student members, tell me about your officers, tell me about your members in arrears or inactive, tell me about your members who are pre-arrears members, tell me about your additional member list, meeting activity, conferences, and give me an overall vitality checklist. Those are the 9 things, and those are what we're now going to talk about. Let's talk about members. There's really 3 things you want to know about members. Number 1, is my section getting bigger or is it getting smaller? Number 2, if I put on a meeting, what kind of meeting do my members want me to put on? And the answer is they want a meeting that has food. Nothing else matters, just food, okay? Let's be clear about it. And number 3, which of my members are super dedicated to the IEEE? Not these whamsy-pamsies, but the ones who go out and say, this is really my first tattoo, I'd like it to say IEEE. That's commitment. All right, loading the dashboard, when you load it up, and you can't see it from there, but these are like little circular things. And while it's loading, they like pulse. And I apologize, but when you load up the Section Vitality Dashboard, go get a cup of coffee. Go, trim the grass or something like that. It's going to take a little while for it to come up. Oracle is a lot of things, but it's not terribly fast. Bam! When it comes up, though, this is what it's going to look like. And this looks fantastic, and it's got like this header bar with all these really cool things on it. And you look at it and go, wow, I think I've seen these before. And the answer is yes. Members, active student members, officers, member in arrears, pre-arrears, additional members. Each one of these items that was on the initial click list is now a tab. Okay? Cool. Must be easy to get to. It is. Let's talk about the dashboard region selector. Depending on what your role in the IEEE is, if you have the ability to see over multiple sections, the very first question the Vitality Dashboard is going to ask you is, which section do you want to take a look at? You go ahead and do a little drop down. This is what I see. My section happens to be the Florida West Coast selection. Click. Go ahead and click that. This is the members section of the Vitality Dashboard. Far too small for you to see. So let's blow it up. All right, so what are we actually looking at here? Active member counts by grade by section. Florida West Coast section, associate, fellow, graduate student member, life fellow, life senior member, student members. Quick question for you in my section. What type of member do I have the most of? Regular? Yeah, as opposed to unleaded? You're exactly correct. So member is 745. However, in my section, what's my number 2? Life member. You're exactly correct. Life member in my section is 384, and actually life senior is 140, so you could actually add those together. That's about 400 or 500 folks. So what does that say about my section? It's old! It's a really old section. Should I be having meetings on starting your career? How to set up a 401k? How to meet girls in the engineering profession? That might actually work, actually. You gotta be careful about that. No! The people in my section are actually at the end of career, right? They will still show up for things. There's no problems with that. These guys like cutting edge technology and stuff like that. But if I'm doing a lot of stuff like gold, or if I'm doing a lot of like you're just starting out stuff, I don't have that much of an audience for it. I do have some, but not an awful lot. Now also down here, interesting enough, this shows me my affiliates. I've got 34 affiliate numbers. What is an affiliate number? Question. What is an affiliate number?
like IEEE, but they're not qualified?
Well, no, they can be qualified. They actually, probably what an affiliate is, it's probably an ACM member, in all honesty. So it's somebody who doesn't belong to the IEEE, which is fine, but wants to participate in some portion of the IEEE. Arguably, they probably want to join the computer society. I mean, it could be a lot of different things, but that is probably the primary thing. It's probably ACM members who got a discount on belonging to the computer society, and they get the publications from the computer society. It could be other things, but that's probably going to be the majority. I got this really cool bar pie chart. Okay, so this is my members, this is my senior members, I think this is senior life members. So if you're more of a visual sort of person, Vitality Dashboard will give it to you. Active society membership by grade. And you can't read this, but I can. IEEE Communication Society members. It's breaking it up by different types of members. I have no freaking clue what that says, but it's a big number, and that's a big number. And this is like members, and I think this is like senior members, right? Then this is, what the heck? Maybe I blew it up down here. No. What I do, I can tell you though, in my section is probably like Power Society, Antenna Society, and Microwave Society. And those are the biggest numbers that I have. This is members, this is senior members, I think this is graduate student members, and this may actually be student members. So what that's telling me is, in my section, there's certain people who have certain interests. They have, in my section, it's interest in power systems. Every single section is going to be computer society, because that's like the biggest society in IEEE. But I also have antenna and microwaves in mine. So once again, if I'm thinking about what kind of meetings to put on, I mean, this is telling me exactly what my section members want me to do by the type of societies that they belong to, right? If I put on power systems, antennas, or microwave sections, I almost have a guaranteed audience that'll show up for it. Okay? So this is something that your Section Vitality Dashboard will tell you. What type of meetings you should be putting on. Top 10 societies for my section. Power and energy. Computer society, of course, this will always be at the top. Communication society, industry applications society member, which is actually very close to power and energy, by the way. Microwave, engineering, medicine, and biology, signal processing, antennas, robotics, and aerospace and electronic systems. And there's the counts. You can see that power is 228. Computer Society is 204, and then it drops off. I still have 95 there, and then it started dropping down. But that's what people in my section have put their hands in the air and said, listen, I'm willing to spend extra money to join that particular society. Okay, so they've already voted with their wallets and said that this is important. So when I'm running a section, when I'm putting on events, when I'm bringing in speakers, I need to bring in speakers or events that have to do with these, because this is clearly what the people in my section care about. Okay. Why do you care about society? Caring naturally, it costs extra money to belong to society. If members in your section are joining societies, then they must care about it, and you need to offer section activities that will appeal to people who belong to these societies. Motherhood and apple pie. Affinity group membership. In my section, I've got 4 affinity groups: consultant networks, standards association, women in engineering, and young professionals. This is how it breaks up. What is this? This is consultants network, so this is just one of them. A whole bunch of ones: associate members, graduate student members, life fellow, life member, life senior, not too much. Members! I've got 14 members who are part of my consulting network, okay? So clearly, the people who care most about consulting network in my section, obviously, are members. I could also see that showing up as being senior members. Maybe you retired, and then you went into the consulting business. Not the case in my section, but perhaps in your section, that's what it is. Okay? Why do we care about affinity groups? Affinity groups can fly under the radar. You know, they're not actually a society, right? So they're not tracked as closely in the IEEE, okay? Once again, people have to make an effort to join in affinity groups. What types of members are joining and how many? That's what we're trying to find out there. Affinity group members clearly care. You may make good candidates to fill leadership positions within your section, and they can help you run your section. They can put on events and meetings. So these people, these 21 people, who put their hand in the air and said, I want to join the consulting network in the Florida West Coast section, clearly care above and beyond the people who get Spectrum and do nothing, right? So these people are great candidates to do other stuff with. Active student members, which actually, in all honesty, I was thinking about this, that's not really a good title. I don't really care what they do in their spare time. I don't think calling them active student members is necessarily the best thing. But at any rate, we're saying student members who participate in the IEEE. Okay? What do we want to know? We want to know what's going to catch the attention of the students in my section. What can your section do that will attract more students to participate in the professional side of your section? Okay? If we take a look at the active student members, it's a little bit crazy, man. In my section, I get this incredible list of universities. Florida A&M, Florida Gulf Course, Florida Institute of Technology, and it's like one. What the heck is going on there? And I'll tell you what's going on. These are students who live in my section who are going to school at a different university who are IEEE members. Okay? So the IEEE headquarters is telling me somebody who lives in my section is a student member, but they're attending a different university. And that's great, but it does me no good. The one guy going to Florida A&M, I'm not trying to get him. What I am trying to do is I've got University of South Florida in my backyard. I've got 108 students going there who are IEEE members. Those are my customers. Question, what's the primary major of your students? Engineering or computer science? Okay, every section is going to have a different answer for that one, right? Maybe they're electrical engineers, maybe they're computer science guys. It's a big deal. Because depending on where their interest lies, then which meetings you put on are going to have more or less attractive power for them. You probably need help from the student. Yeah. You need to help the students get money from the IEEE. In my section, we are constantly reminding the students that they can reach out to the IEEE and ask them for money. Okay? They have no clue that they can do this. Okay? Students can fill the room at your next meeting if you provide food. And your ultimate goal is to turn student members into professional members by showing them the value of belonging to IEEE. That is your job. And the way you do that is you run a vital and a live section, and they come to your meetings and they say, yes, this is an organization that I want to remain a part of even after I leave the university. Officers! 3 questions you're trying to answer here. First off, hey, who's actually in charge of my section? Who does IEEE headquarters think is running it? Who's in charge of the student section, and who could I ask to step in and take a leadership role? Good questions. Good news, your IEEE Section Vitality Dashboard will help you answer all 3 of these questions. It will give you a list of your current section officers. So I ran it from my Florida West Coast section, and I found out, first off, I found out there's a position called e-notice coordinator. And second, I found out that apparently I was filling that position. Woo! Who knew?
You did.
I did now.
You asked for it.
I didn't even know.
You asked for it.
I didn't even know I'd asked for it. Anyway, shows you exactly who's in charge. You know what? Sometimes this can be surprising. Whoa, that's our vice chair? You know, he's dead. You know, whatever, okay? So this is something you got to stay up on, see what the story is. Current Society's chapter chairs, okay? So here, and it's awkward, and really IEEE does a poo-poo job of this. Florida West Coast Section, Chapter AP003. I think that's the, is that a microwave? I think that's microwave, and let's see, where's Serge? Serge is on the bottom here. PE31 is the power and engineering guys. Okay? Goofy ass names, but you can always search on Google, and Google will tell you what it actually means. But basically, these are the guys who are running the chapters in my section. Once again, it can be a little bit of an eye-opener, right? Because we don't always necessarily do the best job of updating these lists, but that's okay. Your Section Vitality Dashboard will tell you what's going on. Current affinity group chairs. So this is my, once again, they use the damn initials. First one is going to be consulting. Next one is going to be life members. Is that life members? Okay. Then comes women and engineers, and then comes young professionals. YP, young professionals. That's it. Do we call it young professionals? Or do we change it to something goofy? What's that?
Young professionals is the new.
Is the new. Okay. All right. Good. We're up to speed. Just printed this. Student branch and branch chapter officers. If you have a college in town and it has an IEEE branch, that's fantastic and wonderful. You know, the thing with those kids, though, they graduate. They move on. They hold elections. They do all sorts of stuff like that. And do they tell you? No, not necessarily. But good news, IEEE knows. So IEEE can tell you, this is what I get. Central Florida, DeVry, and University of South Florida, chair and counselor. So I know my chair is this child, and then I know these 2 people are the 2 counselors for that one. What else do I What's that? That's student branch. This is student branch chapter. So within the student branch, if they have a chapter for like power and engineering or computer science or something like that, this will spit out who the chapter chair is. So really, you've got a great deal of information about who's running the show for your student chapters, which is great because now you can reach out to them and see if you can coordinate their activities with what's going on the professional side. Volunteer history for active members. Okay, so this is spooky. Apparently IEEE remembers everything you've ever done with the IEEE. So this is mine. And man, it goes all the way back in time, okay? Why do you care about volunteer history? I mean, it's history. That's old stuff. I don't really give a dang about that. Well, you care about it a great deal when you're trying to fill a position in your section. And this happens a lot, right? We've got an open section chair. We've got an open, treasurer. We've got an open, whatever, okay? We're looking for somebody to do it. Take a look at the history of the people that you have working with you. If you discover that they've got a deep history in the IEEE, they may be a great candidate to step up into a more extensive leadership position. Why does history matter? If you're considering asking a member to volunteer for a section position, it helps understand what they've done in the past. If an officer of your section is struggling, there may be somebody who's done the job before who can provide them with assistance. And if you want to host a conference, it might be nice if somebody in your section has already done a conference to get them to help out. Would the IEEE remember that they hosted a conference? Yes. The IEEE remembers everything. Members in arrears! Which of my members have I lost most recently? How can I get in touch with them to ask them to come back? And how good is my data? So you know and I know that joining the IEEE is a lifetime commitment. Sadly, not everybody else knows that. So, sometimes, rarely, but sometimes, people join the IEEE and then don't pay to remain inside the coven. And then the coven has to reach out to them and say, you've made a mistake. No, that's not good. It's sort of true, but not quite. All right, so let's talk about some definitions. What does it mean to be in arrears? Those are members who have not paid for the current renewal year. What does inactive mean? It means you were in arrears, you moved to inactive, members who have not paid for more than 1 year. Why do we care? The reason we care is because we are sort of marketing the IEEE to these people, right? We want more people to join the IEEE and come to events that are being held in our section. If somebody joined the IEEE in the past, if they were a member, they are much more likely to join the IEEE again than some Joe, Bob, Tom that you pull off the street. So these are your high potential candidates, okay? And on the Section Vitality Dashboard, you get to select between arrears and inactive, and it'll show you either one. This is an individual in my section who happens to be in arrears. He's a graduate student member. He is not renewed for 2015. 2015 was the last time that he would have renewed. He says it's okay for me to contact him via email or to call him. I cannot send him a fax, but I think they'll remember if I send him an email. I've got his home phone number. I've got his email address, and I know where he lives. There's absolutely no reason that I can't reach out to him and remind him of all the benefits of the IEEE and suggest that it might be to his advantage to rejoin. And we know how engineers are. If they don't join up on the IEEE again, more often than not, the reason is because they forgot. They got 12 renewal notices. They said, I'll do it, I'll do it, I'll do it, and they forgot, right? So oftentimes just having a contact with them makes them go, oh yeah, and they sign up. What to do about members who have not renewed? These are your low-hanging fruit. These people have already joined. They already knew that there was value in joining the IEEE. So it's not that hard to shove them just a little bit and get them to renew. Okay? Engineers are notoriously lazy. They may just not have gotten around to renewing. A simple call can find out what's up. Tell them about the great things that are going on in your section. Worst case, they don't want to renew. You'll at least find out why not. Hey, thanks for the call, I appreciate it. Yeah, I'm just not that interested in renewing with the IEEE. Why? How did we drop the ball? Why would you not want to be part of this alive and vibrant and growing cult of engineers? What's up with that? They have some sort of reason. Let's listen to what the reason is, and I don't disagree that it's a valid reason for them. But if you can learn this, and by the way, if you hear the same thing from more than one person, all of a sudden, bump, 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 you're getting a message that says there's something wrong with your section. It's entirely possible there's something wrong with your section. But if people tell you what's wrong, then you can fix it. Okay? So contacting the people who haven't renewed provides you with both valuable information if they join or if they say no thanks. No call means no renewal, and that's just not acceptable. All the dashboard reports, including everything in Sammy, is refreshed daily. So every time you go into your Section Vitality Dashboard, do not touch the plate, because it was just in the oven. It's all hot, fresh data. Pre-arrears members. Which of my members am I at risk of losing shortly? Good question. So what is a pre-arrears member? In fact, it was such a good question, I had to ask the IEEE, yo, I'm giving this presentation, what the hey is a pre-arrears member? They told me, pre-arrears members will only appear between the January 1st and service deactivation date, which is at the end of February. So they're really only going to show up on your Section Vitality Dashboard for 2 months. Okay? Who are these people? They're the ones that are at risk for not renewing in the current year. So we talked about members who have not been renewed, who are low-hanging fruit. Pre-arrear members are not only low-hanging, they're almost touching the ground. Okay? They were a member last year. They just have not signed up for this year. You've got 2 months between January 1st and sometime in February to reach out to these people and say, yo, we love you and we want you to come back. Give it a shot. See what's going to happen. In my case, when I ran it, I would have run it in March. This is the result I got, which was basically just the SQL statement saying we ain't got nothing, which is true, right? Because pre-arrears means that it's after February when we ran the cleared it out, so I got nothing. So this query will only work from January 1st to sometime in February when we do our cleaning of the books. Additional members list is another thing. What can I do to celebrate the members who have been around forever? How can I get in contact with all my members? Why do life members matter so much? And how can I use the postal service as yet another way to contact the members in my section? Good question. First off, dang. Quick question. How many people have somebody in their section who's been around for 50 years? Did you do anything to celebrate that when they crossed the 50-year mark? Good job. I've got like a ton of them. God's honest truth, we haven't done anything special on that one. Okay? But there's a whole bunch of anniversaries that occur in the IEEE. Thanks for being on board for 5 years, for 10 years, for 20 years. I mean, the years just sort of slip by. But our members cross these, and by the way, they don't have a clue. I've been in IEEE for how long? Oh my God, right? But an interesting point is if we stay on top of it, if we track it, if we celebrate these milestones, and we invite everybody to celebrate with us, that means serve food, then all of a sudden people who are at 15 start wanting to hang around for another 5 years because now in 5 years, there's going to be a party for them, right? And we make the parties escalate. Yeah, 5 is okay, but 10's better. 10's okay, but 20's better. Man, you ought to see what we do for 50, right? And then people start going, I want that 50-year celebration. Okay? In my section, this is a quick run. I think I did it for people who've been around for 50 years. I got at least 3 guys. I might have gotten more. I can't remember. But I got 3 guys. Life senior, life member, okay? Not bad. I got 3 of them in my section. Hell, that's 150 years worth of IEEE service right there. Phew. Why do we care about member loyalty? As a club officer, you want to encourage membership loyalty. You want to recognize and show off for members who have been on board for 50, 40, 30, 20, 10, and even 5 years. You want them to tell their stories. These people who have been with IEEE for this long, why? Why did you stick around? I don't know. I just renewed. Whatever, you know. No! Hopefully, in a lot of the cases, they got something out of their membership. They've got good stories to tell. You want them to tell their stories. You want them to tell their stories to your other members. The ones who are like, I don't know if I'm going to renew this year. Well, let's hear from the guy who's been around for 50 years and have him tell them why he hung around for 50 years. Okay? And by the way, milestone parties. There's a thought. Maybe just have one damn milestone party and celebrate it for everybody who's crossed a boundary that year. 5, 10, well, it doesn't matter. Maybe do something special for the 50 guys. But have a milestone party for everybody. Whatever you want to do. But celebrate what your members have accomplished. Email addresses? Yay! We know how to get in touch with everybody. Question is, can I send them email? Remember, when they signed up, they said yes or no. If they say yes, feel free to send them an email. Active members with no emails. Do you have any of those in your section? Probably. Why? First off, privacy nuts. Okay, that's fine. There's some of those floating around. Maybe older members who maybe actually don't have an email of some sort. All sorts of interesting stuff like that. The interesting thing, though, is that I can still call these guys. I can't send them emails, but I can call them. And I'll tell you what, when they signed up with the IEEE, they did not have an email. But boy, if they've been on for 50 years, they might have an email now, right? So maybe it's worth my while to give them a call and find out if they do have an email, and then get their account updated with that email address. And all of a sudden they go from no email to email, and then I can reach them now. They may not have an email address, or they may have things sent to somebody they know, like a child or a friend. Give them a call once a year to check and see if they have an email address and if we could use it to contact them. And if they don't, then ask them how they'd like us to keep them aware of what's going on in their section. Send me something in the mail. Okay, I can do that. Once or twice or 3 times a year, I can send you a little heads up what we got going on or something like that. You know, if they start showing up for my meetings, then rock and roll, I got one more person in the room, right? Active IEEE members, affinity groups. Okay? These are the people in my affinity groups. Obviously, they care enough to join the affinity groups, and I also find out whether or not I can get in touch with them. My SAMI database will tell me whether or not I can send them emails, whether or not I can provide them with sort of pestering stuff. Why does how many active members you have matter? You need to stay in constant contact with your active members. Let them know that the section exists. If you don't reach out to the people in your section, then all they'll see from the IEEE is Spectrum. I get a magazine once a month. I think that's it. I think that's what I'm paying my, I don't know, $145 a year for. It's a nice magazine. I'm not sure if it's really worth $145. When it comes time to renew, they'll ask themselves, what did I get out of IEEE this year? You need to answer that question for them. Engineers always sign up late. You need to remind them what's going on in the section over and over and over. You will eventually get through to them, but you will not get through to them the first time, or the second time, or even potentially the third time. Current life members of the IEEE by section, and I've got a zillion life members in my section. Why do life members matter? They're often retired and have lots and lots and lots of free time. Lots and lots and lots and lots and lots and lots of free time that they're not. Yeah. When life members participate in an event, they can explain to other members why they've remained in the IEEE for so long. I can't stress how incredibly important that is. Having life members talk to your existing members or to your student members and explain what they've gotten out of IEEE is critical information flow. Life members can often put on an event based on their work experience or area of expertise. Oh, Manhattan Project? Yeah, I worked on that. Whoa! Wait, what? Yeah, we were doing stuff, didn't work out, and then we did some other stuff, and then suddenly it worked out. Oh, that would be interesting. Maybe we'd like to tell that story, right? So everybody in your section who is a life member has been working for like 45 years. Stuff happened during those 45 years that makes for an interesting story. They are potentially, a meeting all by themselves. Address label field is something that we have available to us. So we can actually print out postal addresses using the information that's in the database. Okay? You get to choose your membership status, figure out what kind of address labels you want to print out. Why does this matter? By the way, in case you didn't know, the direct mail business in the US is a multi-billion-dollar business. That's why you get so much crud sent to your house. Yeah, but you do look at some of that stuff, right? Mixing your communication stream up by including physical mail can help you reach everyone in your section. There's a bunch of people out there who delete every single email you send to them. Delete, 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 delete. hey, here's what's going on in the IEEE. Delete, 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 delete. However, if you send them a piece of physical mail, they just might read it. You go like, wow, Jim, that's sort of expensive. And you're right, it can be expensive to send physical mail. Here's the secret though, and it's called postcards. Postcards are like the cheapest damn thing you can send via the postal system. Okay? If you look into it, you'll discover that sending postcards does not really cost all that much to do, and it's super simple, super easy. You can even print them by computer, right? Ching, 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 print them out addresses on the back side, and you're good to go.
Two different comments. Number one, email. Microsoft has created a new thing in Outlook called clutter. It puts everything you want in there, so you don't see it. It disappears.
Google did that a little while ago. Yeah, that was very sad.
Oh, that's it. I've been missing things at work because it's in the clutter folder now.
Ouch.
The other thing is what's great about a postcard?
Yes, sir.
Think about it. If I send you an envelope, you have to open it, right?
Right, that's true.
If I send you a postcard,
should I throw this away? I'm reading it right then, right?
yeah.
And no matter what, you can grab it. How to get rid of the body after you've killed somebody. Whoa, that's a good one. I'd like to go to that one, right? Getting rid of serial numbers on guns that you've bought illegally. Hot damn, I'm showing up for that conference. That's going to be a good one. I'd like to see what that one's about. Meeting activity. How many meetings are being held in my section and what types of meetings are being held in my section? Great questions. Dear God in heaven, your Vitality Dashboard wants to chat with you about meetings. There are so many different ways to classify the damn meetings you're having. Technical, professional, continuing education, uncategorized. What? Didn't fit into one of those other ones, really? Non-technical, awards, uncategorized, non-technical. Man, it sounds like Olympic medals. Okay, so downhill, but it wasn't that fast, and they had no administrative meetings. So, really, your section Vitality Dashboard will tell you every single meeting that has occurred in your section, which is actually vital information. The question is your section alive and growing? If it's alive and growing, you're having meetings, okay? And as a section officer of some sort, you may or may not be aware of all the meetings that are going on. Quick question, how does a meeting show up in the IEEE database? Somebody files a Bingo, that is exactly right. So somebody has to go online and file an L31. Another interesting point here is that if you know a meeting occurred, you check your Vitality Dashboard and the meeting's not showing up, that means somebody did not file a, which happens, right? If somebody wasn't tagged and reminded to file the L31, there'll be no history of it, and your section doesn't get credit for having that particular meeting. So it's a good time to poke somebody and say, yo, file it. Conferences! Well, conferences are sort of rare and unique, but they occur all the time. And the question is there a conference occurring in your section? Good question. Conferences put on by your section. This will tell you what's going on. I like this one. Conferences happening in your area. Maybe you're not putting it on. Maybe you're not involved in it. But these are the ones that are going on around you. Why do you care about that? Well, because you're there and you've got members and you could offer to assist the people who are putting it on. And the reason that you're so generous and you're so willing to offer your assistance is because you want a cut of the pie. So the surplus that they have left over, if you help them out, they should cut you in for part of that, right? That makes sense? I mean, I enjoy the IEEE rebate, but it's never enough. But boy, if I could lend some, warm body assistance to conferences going on in my area, if they're going to cut me in for some of the money that they're going to make, well then hot diggity, now we got a brand new revenue stream, right? Conferences by region, 0, 1, 2, 3, we're what, region 3? We got 35 conferences going on. I'm not sure what 100% means, but that's okay. And that's in 2016. Whose number? Oh, shut. What is region 0? Okay, I'll leave it with that. Region 10. That's fine. All right, it's 0 there, but okay. What is region 10? Do we know? Is it like China?
Australia.
Is it Australia?
Asia.
What's that?
Asia.
It's so Asia. Oh, well, Asia apparently has 172 conferences. Okay, that's fine. And region 8, you know what that is?
Europe.
Europe? Okay, because they got another 172. All right, that's sort of cheating. I mean, it's not really like a region, it's like a continent. That's no fair. Vitality checklist. All right, so this is the last part of your section vitality checklist. And it's fairly boring because it's just information, but it's good information. So here's the concept is, you're a member of the management structure for your section. Fantastic and wonderful. What should you be doing? And probably even more importantly, when should you be doing it? Good question. Well, first quarter, you got to turn in all of your IEEE mandated documentations, report all section officers, update the section website, makes sense. Train new officers, promote use of the Section Vitality Dashboard. What we just did, thank you. Update local operating procedures, plan and budget for section, chapter, and affinity group activities, organize a workshop for chapter and affinity group chairs, who may be brand new, conduct joint meeting with student branches, kick off the year right, and reach out to non-renewing members before deactivation date, end of February. Bam! Second quarter, conduct a membership development activity, conduct professional development activity, conduct continuing education activity, and establish a plan for engaging with members in the industry. Bam! Third quarter, promote pre-university activity, conduct a career workshop, submit nominations for awards. Bam! Last quarter of the year, just before Christmas, encourage members to renew, conduct an event to support involvement with local industry, and hold officer elections. You know, hopefully we're doing all these things anyway, but man, it's sort of nice to have a checklist. Because you know you do a bunch of stuff. The question that's always nagging in the back of your head is, have we done everything that we needed to do? Good question. This checklist gives you sort of a master list of what you should be doing. And it's part of your section vitality dashboard. So, what does all of this mean for you? First off, obviously, sections do not run themselves. Bam! I've just created a section. And it will be self-maintaining. No! They need management people like you to step up and run the section. You need to always be adding new members and getting more members to attend your events. Those are the two things that you need to do to make sure that your section is vital and alive. IEEE headquarters wants you to help do this, and that's why they've created the Section Vitality Dashboard. Once a month, you need to review your dashboard compared to last time and take appropriate actions. So how do I actually do that, Jim? Good question. Here's one possibility. Remember, there's 9 different sections to your Section Vitality Dashboard. What I'm going to say is, in a given month, you want to check your total membership. Update some sort of graph that tells you, how am I doing this month versus last month versus the month before? What's the trend? Up, down, or unchanged? Second day of the month, check student membership, current count. What are you doing to involve your students this month? Third, check officers. Are all positions filled? Who's next in line? Are the student offices involved in the professional section? And so on, and so on, and so on. It takes roughly about 2 weeks of maybe 5 or 10 minutes a day to make sure that you've worked through your dashboard and that your section is up to date. Final thoughts. What's the value of this IEEE Section Vitality Dashboard? It provides a heartbeat for your section. Are you growing or are you shrinking? Critical question. Are you holding meetings? Who do you need to contact to re-engage with the IEEE? Shows you how to engage your members. What are their interests? Who's involved in what? And how can you contact them? It's a tool. It's nothing more special than a tool. And it's what you do with the tool that will determine what the true value for you is. So that's my presentation. My question to you is, do you have any questions? I mean, you can't, because it was a perfect presentation. And I answered all the questions you could possibly have. In fact, I even answered the questions you didn't know that you were going to have. But I'll open it up anyway. Are there any questions about using the Section Vitality? Oh, look at this. How could he have a question? Sir, what is your question?
Okay, my question is basically because I am new as a chair of Tallahassee session with very little experience, and when I try to understand what's going on in my session, I go to SAMI.
Yes.
So my question is, how is this dashboard different from SAMI, and if it's the same thing?
Gotcha. And that's a very good question. So his question is, hey, I love the Section Vitality Dashboard, he says, and that's good. But is it any different than this big fancy SAMI database that I've heard so much about? The answer is, it's exactly the same. What the Section Vitality Dashboard is actually effectively a series of SAMI queries. that have been put together to answer common questions that each section has. Okay?
It's basically the same data.
Same thing. Exactly the same thing. Right.
The same data. It's just a different interface.
A different
That
interface,
one,
yeah.
that one actually looked way more familiar, more friendly.
Oh, yeah, same, exactly.
Sammy
Much more friendly than.
Sometimes.
The Vitality Dashboard is designed to make the Oracle database more friendly, more user-friendly, so that you can quickly get access to the data that you need. You can do the exact same thing through SAMI. You can build your own queries, but effectively you'll be reproducing probably what you can already get through the section dashboard. Okay?
Okay.
Next question. Over here?
Who are the section officers who get SAMI access?
That is actually a good question. I believe the answer is everybody. I think if you're on that list of section officers, you have access to SAMI. I think every section officer gets access to SAMI. Can anybody confirm or deny that? Okay. So that is, yeah, that's fine.
And you can add SAMI access special billing if you want to.
Oh, so
We
somebody
ask for a data dink, so somebody who just does that.
Any other questions? Going once?
Where do you get all your interviews?
You know, a lot of people say crack is bad. I just say crack is just yet another pharmaceutical compound that we need to consider. All right. Is there anything else? Going once? Oh, wait, got one more.
I can't sign in. How do I fix that?
You contact the IEEE, sir. Here you go. I think you can probably log on to IEEE.org. And I think that there's a help section there. And you can say simply, I cannot log into SAMI would be the right way to phrase that question. Unable to log into SAMI, S-A-M-I-E-E-E, okay? And then they will provide you with username and password, and you should be good to go. Acceptable?
So if
I'm
you
trying to
log into
remember.
Sammy, you'll log into this, right?
Sir?
Vera is here this weekend. You should need to see Vera before she leaves this weekend.
Yeah, it should be your, I believe,
Jim,
login.
I think it's the same login. You just got to be in the authorized list of people.
I'm trying to remember what my username and password is, but I think you're right. Just one. So my user ID is effectively my IEEE email address. Okay? And then there's a password, and I'll bet you $1 that password is the same password that I use to sign on to the IEEE website.
That's what I thought. I'm
Okay.
a section chair, can't get in.
If you can't get in, then what it is that the system doesn't think that you're authorized to access SAMI data. So it's a matter probably of checking with your section officer, your section chair, or Vera. Vera. At this conference, there's a woman by the name of Vera. If you touch base with her, she can solve all problems.
At the very beginning, we have a similar problem, and then with the information of the new officers supposed to be, and then I think that at this point everybody has access to
Perfect.
the SAMI system.
Excellent. Great. So I think all problems can be solved. We got another 5 minutes, so don't even think about taking over.
Actually, your session ended at 2:35.
2:35?
Yeah.
Who the hell scheduled something to end at 2:35? That's the silliest damn thing I've ever heard in my life. Ladies and gentlemen, we're out of time, but I'm here for the rest of the weekend. If you need me, we can talk. Thank you very much for your attention.